all the coatings, including blue light and anti-reflective coating,
or in the dispensary or online.
including an annual to catch up, and Lensable hopes to lead by example. Technology will continue to advance, and I can promise you, Lensable is very excited to continue to innovate and provide consumers an unmatched experience online. Thank you all so much for your time today, and I look forward to seeing and speaking with you in person soon.
Large retail and eye care groups are not the only ones who are embracing new technologies to enhance the patient experience in the exam lane or in the dispensary or online. We have 2 Vision Voices now who have taken charge of their own approaches. We'll meet Annie Hicks, optician with SeePort Optometry in Northport, Florida. And then we'll hear from Dr. Jennifer Stewart, OD, who is embracing digital technology to serve patients at Norwalk Eye Care in Connecticut, as well as her own progressive sports vision practice, Performance 2020. Before we get started in our conversation with Annie Hicks, let's take a look inside SeePort Optometry. That's a great look inside your place. But before we talk a little bit about your technology, why don't you tell us something about where you are in Florida? Tell us about the demographics and the markets that you serve.
SeePort Optometry is located in Southwest Florida. We are right between Sarasota and Fort Myers. Our community is a large growing community. We have families, and new retirees. We have what used to be snowbirds and now residents moving here in droves all day, every day. We're so thankful, and we're welcoming them with open arms as well. It's been that way since we opened, and still that way. We have a couple of big box stores and a couple of ophthalmology groups, and then us.
What are the towns that you serve? I mean, what are your markets beside Northport?
Northport, the West Villages, Venice, Welland Park, Port Charlotte. We have people come as far as from Englewood, which is a good 20-25 minutes away. So yeah, people come from all around. We even have patients drive the whole way down from north of Tampa to see us, which is great.
When was it that you realized that you needed to amp up your use of technology in the practice?
Whenever the CDC recommended that eye exams should be postponed, my wheels started turning, and I started trying to figure out how we could serve our community during the quarantine. So I actually had in my mind that I was going to come in, I was preparing to come in and take photos of every single frame on my board. So I would be able to help somebody if they lost their glasses and they had to work or go to school. I ordered a whole bunch of stock lenses so I can produce them in a day. And so that's just kind of what jump-started it. I really wanted to help the community if the community needed us, and that's really what we did. And then I just had the thought of checking out frames data, and they, lo and behold, they had a virtual frame gallery, and that was really the starting point of me exploring other technologies, other options, and it really got the ball rolling. And yeah, and we're here now, and it's great. So I had the idea of checking out Frames Gallery literally at midnight because I'm a mom, so that's the only time I can actually think to work is at midnight. And by noon the next day, Frames Gallery was live on my website. I was so impressed and so excited.
How did you let people know it was there? How did you start communicating with your patients, current patients, or even prospects? What were you thinking about that?
Yeah, I started to kind of put it out on Facebook and emails, but everybody was getting inundated with emails at that time, everybody. So I actually had the idea of starting a coloring contest. And what that coloring contest did is the winners, I drove them to the Frames Gallery on my website, and they could pick out a pair of sunglasses. I had probably about 7 pictures, all age appropriate from preschool up to adult. And in a week and a half, I reached 25,000 people. And I didn't pay for an ad or anything. It was just sharing and all that. I had entries from the UK, from Britain. Certainly not my market, but it got the word out. That's for sure.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. So now you're still using the Frame Gallery as a way of pre-selling. Your video showed us that you ask a lot of questions now of patients before they get in. Mm-hmm. So how does it work to make your in-person visits more productive?
Well, the Frame Gallery part of the patient experience at SeePort, we've really turned into more of a VIP type of experience. The patient feels like they're just being catered to because they come out of the exam lane, get handed off to the opticians, and then lo and behold, they have their wish list laid out, presented, ready for them, as well as a couple other frames that are similar to the style that the patient chose that they may have not seen on Frames data or just messed over. It checks so many boxes because they feel like they're a VIP. It cuts down their time looking at all the frames, less frames to clean, less time in the optical. And I found that women feel much more comfortable shopping in the comfort of their own home, trying on different stuff than whenever, we're 3 deep in optical and everybody's worried about social distancing. It just makes for a really great experience.
What other things have you started to adopt? What other technologies are you looking into now that you know that it resonates with patients?
I installed patient registration, all of the intake forms, patient signature forms, which has saved, 5 or 6 minutes per patient at intake. They go onto my website, they get a link, and they electronically sign the HIPAA financial agreement. Screeners, my screener packages have tripled or quadrupled since I installed that. And then the Frames Gallery, of course, and then we also have just brought in a custom eyewear product. That is incredible, and I'm in love with it.
What is that, and how does it work? That's where somebody would pre-select the colors or shapes or fronts, temples.
Right. So I have about 50 frames here in my office. Mm-hmm. And so they're stock and they're also a fit set. So we encourage patients to come in, make sure that they like the shape on their face, and then they can either in store with our opticians or at home, either way, can go home and design it. Frame front, temples, size. They even get to name it. And we decided on eye green, and I could not be happier with my decision. And it sets us apart from anybody else in our region, and that's what's going to help us continue to grow and thrive.
So if you look ahead, what are the changes that this kind of business climate has put into motion that you think will still be a factor 6, 12, 24 months from now?
Right now, it looks like, we don't want to be out of the house, right? We want to be as far away from people as we can and only go out for necessary things. But whenever it is a non-COVID environment, people are busy. They don't want to talk to, the receptionist on the phone for 25 minutes trying to find an appointment that works. They want to go onto a website, check their schedule versus my online scheduler and book it. I get appointments at midnight every single day. Convenience, in and out, ease, making it very easy for them to come in, not rushed, not feel rushed. As independent optometrists and opticians, we have to set ourselves apart. We have got to stay ahead of the curve with things like custom frames and convenient intake processes, because if we don't stay ahead of the curve, we're going to be running to catch up. I feel like I've been running to catch up for a decade, and I'm not doing it anymore.
Well, it sounds like you have the best of both worlds, the in-person personal service, and then the convenience as a way of extending the relationship with patients online. That's terrific. Well, thank you so much, Annie Hicks, SeePort Optometry.
Thank you, Marge.
Good afternoon. This is Dr. Jennifer Stewart. Thank you so much to the Vision Monday Global Leadership Summit for having me on today to speak about the patient experience. Today, I'm going to talk about crisis, innovation, and reinventing that patient experience after COVID. This quote, "How does crisis create innovation?" is something that I've had on a sticky note on my computer since the day that my office shut down due to COVID-19. I spent a lot of time over the time that our office was closed thinking about not only how to manage our shutdown, but how do we come out of this experience and how do we grow our practices? A little background about myself. I'm an optometrist and partner at Norwalk Eye Care, a multi-doctor practice located in Norwalk, Connecticut. I'm also the Chief Vision Officer and co-founder of Performance 2020, a sports and performance vision center located in Stamford, Connecticut. I'm an advisory board member for the International Sports Vision Association, a professional affairs team member for Cooper Vision, and an IDOC member director. I was also the Thea Award winner for innovation in sports and performance vision for women optometry in 2019. I'm a sports vision consultant and also a former Division I track and field athlete. There are so many ways that technology has changed the patient experience, especially this year. One of those is our office protocols. If your office is anything like mine, the way that patients enter and exit and everything in between has certainly changed in the last few months. I think we're all doing the same protocols in our cleaning, disinfection, sterilization, and keeping patients socially distanced. However, if we're not telling our patients what we're doing, they aren't aware and they don't know the measures that we're going to keep everybody safe. We've spent a lot of time communicating with our patients through Solution Reach to make sure that they know every step that our office has taken from the minute they walk in until they leave the office. We're all doing it, so making sure that they know that is important. We've had so many patients say to me, "I didn't know that you were doing all these steps. Thank you for letting us know." With the technology we have available, such as Solution Reach, it makes it easier than ever to communicate through email, text, and other newsletters. Communication has also been key throughout this crisis. We started day one making sure that our patients knew what we were open for and what we weren't available for. We did close our office to routine care for 8 weeks in March and April, but we opened in May during phase 1 in Connecticut. Throughout our closure, we never really actually closed. We made sure to inform our patients weekly about services we were providing, including telemedicine, contact lens orders, frame dispenses, and other things that we could do while the office was closed without seeing routine care. I had many of my friends call me and say, "I've been trying to get in touch with my optometrist and they're not answering the phone. I don't know if they're open. I've ordered contact lenses and I don't know how to pick them up. And is there any way that you can help me?" We even gained new patients during the crisis because they weren't able to communicate with their current practitioner. So communication is so key during these times. And again, technology makes that easy. We're able to quickly send a text, email, or newsletter to our patients and let them know what we've done, what our office hours are. As we rolled out our patient care, we were able to keep communicating with them about what we were doing. Telemedicine is another way that the patient experience has changed. We were fortunate to be able to provide medical eye care to our patients during our shutdown and keep them out of emergency rooms and urgent cares. We've actually continued to use telemedicine in our office to provide care to patients who might have traveled, might have been exposed to COVID, or just don't feel safe coming into the office at this time. I think that telemedicine will always have a place in our office. It might not replace comprehensive care, but it's been a great way to provide an additional service to patients who might not be able to come into the office. One of the big topics that I get asked about is computer vision, and how are we tackling that with our patients and especially children. I urge you to look at your patients and ask good questions about what they're doing on their side of work, and look at the new technology we have available in our office to help them. That might be digital lenses, different blue light filters, also updating multiple pairs of glasses to make sure that they're seeing as well as they can. One of the things we have to look at is how consumers are getting products. If you're anything like me, you didn't go to a store during the COVID shutdown, so we shouldn't expect that our patients want to show up at our offices to pick up contact lenses as well. The great thing is, with our industry partners such as Cooper Vision and Marlowe, we have great ways to both communicate and deliver contact lenses without our patients having to step foot in our offices. Not only can patients have contact lenses delivered directly to them, they can also receive text, email, and phone reminders about when it's time to order contact lenses and when they're due for eye exams. This not only keeps us involved in their patient care, but it keeps them in our offices and purchasing contacts directly through us. On the sports and performance vision side, a lot of things have changed. I took a cue from the fitness industry and looked at how athletes and people in general were acquiring their fitness during COVID and even after. Many of us were not able to enter gyms and still might not be able to work out in our typical places. We might be using Peloton, The Mirror, or just streaming videos or working with our coaches remotely. The fitness industry has done a great job of letting athletes continue to work out, but not having to be in person. In the sports vision world, we're very fortunate that there's great technology that allows us to do the same. Performance 2020 has been partnering with industry leaders such as Synaptic and Visual Edge to continue to work with and be a part of our sports and performance vision clients' journey and allow us to keep their sports vision training even during this COVID crisis. I hope you continue to look at technology and think about ways that it can not only enhance the patient experience, but enhance your practice as well. I look forward to hearing from you and look forward to seeing you at a conference very soon.
Thanks, Annie Hicks and Dr. Jennifer Stewart, for those excellent comments. Your insights into how you build excellent patient experiences in your practices have provided us all with valuable lessons. I know that all of you agree that our many presenters all did a terrific job in helping us to see the future directions healthcare will take in the days ahead. We have reached the end of our Vision Monday Summit journey, one we all began on September 30th. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules each Wednesday these past 4 weeks. I want to remind you that all Summit registered users will have full access to each of the 4 broadcasts, as well as the remainder of the VM Summit platform until December 31st, 2020. I also want to offer a special thanks to our sponsors who have helped make this impactful program possible. Our